Sweetoreo, thank you so much for joining tonight. We're excited to talk to you tonight.
No, I'm super excited to be here finally. I mean, I guess you guys get to see me. I don't meet all of you guys still, but this is super exciting still.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying a few new things tonight, so I got a fancy microphone now, and so far it's working. We got a new dock for the iPad, so I don't feel like the screen is like in my eyebrows so close, and then I can actually see the person I'm talking to tonight. So all the things are going the way we want them to go so far.
Yay, it's working out. I'm glad.
Yep. What do you guys got going on for 4th of July tomorrow? Any big plans?
No, probably just go to my sister's house and just spend some time there, like in the evening. Probably make my mom's probably gonna make some hot dogs and hamburgers and just relaxed. And then that's it. Call it a day.
Yep, yep. I thought I was doing hot dogs and hamburgers too, and then my neighbors requested some smoked meats. So we'll be dragging out the offset at about 6 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll be burning logs all day. So some pecan wood. I think we're doing two pork butts and two racks of ribs, 30 chicken wings, 30 burgers, and 30 hot dogs. That's the current menu for tomorrow.
Oh my God. Well, we saw the pictures of all your cooking and it looked amazing. So I can't imagine.
Yeah,
You're gonna for
yeah.
sure
I'll
have a
send,
feast.
I'll send y'all some pictures tomorrow as it's going. I'm gonna be sweating a whole bunch. Uh, Everybody, tonight we got a bunch of people in the room as well. This podcast is a live podcast. We do it here on Whatnot, and then we upload to YouTube usually 2 or 3 days after. Uh, Once your boy figures out how to edit and cut and things like that. I don't cut any of the podcast, but we do, cut out the selling of games after and things like that too. So try to make them short and sweet. Um, I call it good lawnmower listening. And then everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Yeah, you put your headphones in, you go cut your grass, and you can listen to the podcast." And they're like, "Oh, I don't do that." So maybe I'm the only person that has to cut grass for like 3 hours straight. It seems like in the afternoon. Um, so for those of you that don't know Sweet Oreo, so Sweet Oreo obviously is a moderator in a ton of shows. Also, I can see that you collect by your background there a little bit. Um, Tell us like a couple things about you. Just like who are you as a person? Like in one sentence, how would you describe yourself?
I think passionate, caring, and what else? I think those are the most like those are the two words I would describe
Very
for
very
sure.
good. Yeah, I can see that as well. I asked you a couple probably like a month ago. I was like, Oreo, it's like 1 in the morning. Why are you still here? I was like, go to bed. And then you always
Right?
reply, yeah, and you always reply, I love to support you guys. And I was like, man, that's awesome. We
Well,
want
it's
all
later
tribes
for
to
you
get along.
guys. You have to remember it's later. Here
That's
it's
true.
earlier. So it's like for you guys it might be, 1 o'clock, and then here it's what is that, 11 or whatever?
Yep. So are
Or
y'all
or
in
10, yeah, whatever. Your time is 2 hours, right? Difference?
yeah, you're in California, I
Yeah,
assume?
California.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I know y'all went to SoCal. I do want to talk about that some today, but I didn't know if you lived in California or y'all took a trip out to SoCal. So yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense because when I'm dying at like 1 a.m., it's only 11 your time, so not too
Yeah.
bad. Tonight I do want to do a little bit more interaction with the chat as well. So chat, you guys, and I hate calling it chat, folks that are watching tonight. Throw any topics you guys have down. I'll jot them down, and we'll chat about those things as well. If you want to see games or anything like that, we won't do that during the podcast. So if you send offers and things like that, we'll wait till after that and go through it. So now that we talked about all the rules of the land, tell me about SoCal. So I've never been. I've actually never even. I saw it in one little video on YouTube for a second. Just tell me about the experience.
It was great. This past time that we went, that was our second time. The first time we actually met up, we met Pawn and then we also met Dub. So that was a great experience. This time around, we pretty much hung out with David and Jeff. I don't know if you guys know from the streams. I know that right now they're doing the sealed NES shows.
Okay.
So we kind of hung out with them. It was a great time. We saw what was his name, Karma? The big streamer. Oh, we saw Rick. No, we saw Rick there,
Tyler,
right?
Was it
Yes,
Skylar?
Skylar, that was
Uh,
it. Skylar, and then we saw, I think, Rick, and then oh, obviously the Pixel Squad because they're the ones who come up with that whole
yeah.
thing.
So funny story. I bought this from Pixel Game Squad last week, and I you know I got a bunch of little kids or two little kids. I call it a bunch because they run around, and I just quickly got off the stream. I was like, hey, I got a couple things. I'm gonna head out, and then they started tagging me, and they're like, hey, the Zelda you bought. There's a there's no board in it, and they're like, shoot us a cancellation, whatever. I was like, guys, that's all good. I was like, I have 20 of them. Like, can y'all just sign it and just send it to me? So we got the Pixel Game Squad now on the Zelda. So I only watch like three of the YouTube streamers. So it's Pixel, Retro Rick, and then Chase is pretty much the three that I watch. More so watch I'd say Retro Rick. I like the older Retro Rick stuff. The new stuff's actually really good too, but that $10 game collection was like my favorite series. That's kind of got me really like going to like collect again. I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't think I could ever do what he did, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool streamers. I don't watch the. I mean, I sometimes go in there for a few minutes and then I go back out. I like kind of the smaller streams. I guess it's just more, I guess, intimate. You get to laugh, see a little bit more. When you're in those big streams, there's 200-300 people. It gets a little crazy in there. A lot of people
Yeah,
chatting.
absolutely. So y'all FaceTimed me from SoCal. I was looking for
Yes.
a Mega Man X3, and I was so excited when y'all called because it's like, well, first I get to see your face, which is great. Because sometimes you just chat with people and whatnot. You're like,
Hmm.
I don't know what this person's about. I don't know what they look like. I've told this to Matt before too. I don't know how to describe this, but I have like a residual self image of other people in my head.
Mm.
Oh, I told this to Buck. Me and Buck were talking about this. I said, Buck, I know exactly what you look like in my head, but I've never seen you. And same thing with Matt. And when I finally saw Matt, I'm like, you don't look anything like what you look like in my head. And then Buck actually sent me a picture. He sent me like a crazy selfie. He's like, I'm gonna show you my picture right now, fool. And he sent it to me. I was like, you actually look exactly like I thought you looked, and it's really disturbing now. So
Wow.
yeah. So how many days did y'all go to SoCal? And then like was it a big arena or like what how did they host it?
Yeah, last time they had only it was 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. This time they actually started Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
pretty much a big arena in there. It was pretty cool. A lot of different people, a lot of vendors going in there. I mean, I recognize some people here just in California that were there. So super exciting just going through each one. The first round, usually we go pretty fast to see if there's any heavies in there. So we make that round just in case you buy anything we need really fast. And then the rest of the days, and you go really slow, right? Looking for each little game that you might need, little carts after. So we had a blast. We always enjoyed, so far the two times that we've been there. So looking forward to next year again.
Was there like a specific game on y'all's list for this one that y'all were looking for, like one or two that you're like, oh, I gotta find this one?
Yes, I'm still looking for that Chippendales Rescue Rangers number 2.
Hmm.
That thing is just not, I cannot find it. And then if you
Yeah.
do find it, it's like a super beat up one, and that's obviously not what I'm looking for.
I almost pulled the trigger on one of those like 2 or 3
Ugh,
days ago. It's just so much money for that one, and my so and as I think you know this as well, but I started collecting the Purple Capcom carts.
yes.
So I just did all the carts first, which I still don't have Snow Bros, um, and I haven't run across it yet. I kind of wanted to
Mhm.
get it in person if I could, or via another person I know, if
Yeah.
possible. Um, but then I started slowly piecing the manuals, and then once we get through the manuals, then maybe we'll piece together the box. It's funny because I sell these Purple Capcom CIBs every night, but I don't want to start on the boxes until I have like all the manuals, and it's kind of I don't even think it makes sense, but I don't know. I like the way they look on the shelf as just carts because I have a lot of CIB stuff. It's cool to have
Yeah.
just some carts sometimes. So
We actually
are
picked
you
up a Snow Bros last year from David.
okay? Nice.
Yeah,
It was
we were
it was
super
a
excited. And it was
CIB.
actually in beautiful condition.
It was a CIB.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's right
Yeah.
back over there somewhere. One of these. There it goes. I
Yeah,
think of that one.
that's what I do on my stream all the time. Do you guys see like the? And look, I got these little Contra guys the other day. I thought they were pretty cool. Sabrina, if y'all watch Sabrina's stream in the morning, usually on my ride to work, I'll watch Sabrina, but she'll make all kind of things. She made that Mega Man. She made those
Oh
Contra
yeah.
guys. The Perler beads are cool. We got a Roadrunner one now as well. So, were y'all successful in the finds? Did y'all find what you were looking for?
I don't think we found what we were exactly looking for. I don't like I said, that was like the main game at least I wanted to find. I think me and Karma pretty much agreed on what we were looking for. Um, but we didn't find any of those games, so then we just went with other games.
All right. So here's my $1 million question for you. Should I have bought that Mega Man X3?
I mean, it was pretty nice. Karma, what would you say?
You could have leaned either way on that. I feel like you could have either bought it and been okay with it, but it just wasn't. It wasn't up to our standards, so I would have passed.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I haven't regretted that one at all, which was odd for me, you know. And then you fast forward a week, and then a Mega Man 7 landed in my lap, which I never see. I actually see that one less than I see the X3. So I was like, super excited to get it. So the itch has been scratched for a while because now that I got that 7, so probably by Christmas time, maybe we'll start that X3 hunt again. I think. Do you guys have that one in y'all's collection?
Do we have that one? X3?
No.
No.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure
we
some.
don't have we're missing a lot of
We have
items.
a loose,
We
but
have it loose. Yeah, not CIB.
I just started
Okay,
getting into SNES, so we're getting there.
nice, dude. So I was telling Matt the other day. I went through and like repriced all my Super Nintendo CIBs. This was like I think it was like 2 weeks ago, just to see what the market was doing. And I can tell you right now, like there's a lot of this happening since December, which is expected. Um, but Super Nintendo is the only one as a whole that went up as a whole, not individual games, but as a whole that went up. All the other ones were down good bit, but it wasn't consistent. It was like half the games went up significantly, and then half the games went down moderately. I guess is the way I would put it. Um, but yeah, it also seems to be the slowest mover on my show lately. So
Mhm.
um, it's a good time to buy Super Nintendo. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I like Super Nintendo. I just like the look of the NES better. I don't know why the way the boxes look. That's what I
Oh
like
yeah,
about them. Yeah.
yeah. I was getting in so many like boxes that just they weren't the greatest, I guess you'd say. And I liked how simple the Super Nintendo ones were to like clean up and get into better condition. Those NES bottoms, man, I can't buy anything now that has like a messed up bottom. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So that's my only critique on NES though. I can take some damage or take some wear, all that stuff. But if that bottom is like torn or something like that, I'm like, man, the game's just gonna fall out of it. You're gonna have to keep it in the plastic just to hold it together. I try to avoid it.
Yeah. It's hard. That's how, I think first, or at least when we started off, I mean, really Karma started off, and whatnot. And it was like you start buying loose carts, right? And the next time it's like, oh, you want the money Manny and cart. And the next time you'll only buy CIB. And before you know it's like it needs to be in cellophane. And then before you know it's gonna be like, I need to have them all sealed.
That's awesome. So
All
how did
right.
how did how did you start with collecting, or like when did it start for you? Obviously, y'all have a huge collection behind it, and then I guess tell me the Karma story as well on his collections, your collections, y'all's collection. How does it work?
Yeah, so technically really it just started off with Karma, right? He's always liked collecting the NES and all that. We would always just go to little shops trying to find any retro games around. I don't know, Karma, where did you find out about whatnot?
Just people talking about it, like, oh, I spent so much money on there, and oh, this and that, and then the game stores we would go to would mention it, so I just downloaded it one day, and then started my massive debt. And
Yeah, I know that feeling for sure.
Yeah. So then he would go on the streams, and I think pretty much it started off with like going into, I think Pawn Stream was one of the first ones, and then we kind of moved on to like Justin Atomic Stream, and then meeting all the people, and he was always chatting, and I would always just watch. I'm like, let me see, until finally he's like, well, you get your own account then, pretty much. And I was like, okay. And then that's pretty much kind of where then I got into it, right? I thought it was just a lot of fun, and then I don't really play much of the games because I die. Like I've told many of you guys, or I tell Justin all the time, I die really fast, and then I kind of give up after like 5 tries. Karma knows that he buys me a lot of like Switch games.
Yep.
Then I last about 20 minutes, and then I die, and he has to buy me another game because I give up. So then he like, sometimes there's like days that sometimes like I could go through like 3 new games, and I'm like, a new one again.
Exactly. That was man, that's like Contra, like you need to put the Konami code in. Or do you ever use the Game Genie for the NES?
Oh, he loves the Game Genie. I don't. That's Karma saying he has a collection of all the Game Genies up there somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
relax.
He
This is like acts like I
I feel,
need them.
yeah, I feel like there's two schools of Game Genie people. There's Game Genie people that legitimately use it because they want to beat the game and they don't want to die a million times, or they die and they just come back, whatever. And then there's purists as well that refuse to use it, but also still die and just quit and not play the game. So where would you fall on that scale?
I just die and I give up, and then I play another game.
Yeah. So you're on that right hand side where you like, hey, I'm not going to cheat, but I'm not going to do well either, and I'm just going to go to another game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Contra. I always think about that when people talk about how hard NES games were, and I know there's harder games than Contra as well. But I played so much Contra, and I still, if you had to say, hey, grab a game real quick right now in the cabinet and just play for 20 minutes, it would be Contra. It's even though there's games I like better, it's just that's my quick like I want to burn 20 minutes play and then go do something else. That's probably what I'll play.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So like on your collection, like what is your I guess your favorites, or like what are you always looking for like when you go out and about for games?
Well, right now I think we're at a point where like I said, it's some of like the bigger games that we're looking for. At least I'm personally not trying to collect like the full set or anything of that sort. I like just neat artwork, anything that looks kind of cool. That's what I kind of go for. So that's why like you don't we I guess you don't see us buy as much in the beginning. I think Karma was swiping left and right like no other. Probably everybody hated Karma at one point, right? Because you're just buying
Yeah.
away, not giving anyone a chance there. But after I think you get to a point where you've collected so many of the games, and then you kind of just slow down. And I think that's where kind of where we're at. Like I said, I'm looking for some of the heavies like that Chippendales too. If somebody sees it, please let me know. I need it.
Hey,
I need it. I
hey,
must have this game.
well, hopefully on YouTube you'll get a lot of views and people will send you some messages. So Sweetoreo on whatnot. If you guys need to find the handle on that. We did have a question from the chat. Any music from video games that really is like it strikes a chord with you, or any particular game you're like, oh, I love the music of this game.
Not the not. I mean, not exactly. I guess the music. I mean, I grew up, believe it or not, I grew up playing. I'm with Moose with Sega, so I played a lot of like Sonic growing up, and then another game I played a lot was Donkey Kong. And then I got into like 007. I love that game, and then I moved to Grand Theft Auto, which I was addicted to. I used to
I,
play it in my PC. Man, that thing drove me crazy.
I've never played Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my god.
That's like right when I stopped like playing forever. Right when that was coming out. I think I just missed it. The GameCube was my last console I had until I restarted collecting. And I mean, I might have had the GameCube for 3 months. It had just came out. So,
Ah,
and I didn't have any game. I don't even remember. I had the Zelda Collector's Edition. I think it came with the console, and I did play that. I was a huge Majora's Mask and
mhm.
Ocarina of Time fan. I love those for the 64. But it's like as soon as you start going to college, you're like, hey, I just want to go work and make money, or I want to go
Yeah.
chase girls or whatever. It's you kind of just stop playing. So like a lot of people, I think a lot of people have that same story. Hey, life hit, and I didn't do it for a really long time, and then I picked it up, and man, it started with me just trying to find my wife a copy of Mario Paint on Facebook
Oh.
Marketplace, just a cart. And then I had the mouse pad and whatever, and I just bought that. And the dude was like, he tried to get me to buy 5 games. I'm like, nah, I'll take that and I'll take Mario World. And then I had to buy a Super Nintendo to play it because we didn't have a console for it. And I was like, what do I do with these other games? Oh, and by the way, I went meet him. He's like, you can just have these games. I was trying to get some money for them, but you don't want to pay for them. You can just have them. I'm like, okay. And I got home. I was like, what do I do with these games? So I was like, I'm going to put them on eBay. And then they sold in a day. And then I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then you fast forward a year and this is what happens. So,
Yeah, it's crazy how time goes. You collect, you start off from nothing, and before you know it, look at your background, look at that whole cabin. You're full of stuff. You don't even know what to do with it anymore. You're like, I
yeah,
need to sell this stuff and get rid of it.
I'm literally right at that point now where it's like, can't really bring in much more stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, I can, but if things start going in totes and stuff and into like that loft or whatever, like I don't really have a, if I say that the Wii U set is in the loft. We finished that. It was for display for a little bit, and I really just wanted to complete a set. I thought that was cool. I tend to always like things that everybody else hates. I kind of love that people hate it, and it makes me want to collect it. So I did that whole set, and I lost a few games. That was when the tequila got knocked off of the top cabinet, the whole thing. And but yeah, those are actually in totes. They're collecting. They're not collecting dust, but the totes are. And I don't think I'm going to revisit that for about another 10 to 20 years and come back to it. So maybe it'll gain some value.
yeah, you never know. Just
Yep.
keep everything. I always tell everyone to keep all their stuff. I was like, keep it, just keep it. Don't
Yeah.
sell anything.
Matt's always trying to get us to take shots. I see your comment on there. If you guys do have any questions or whatever, throw them in the chat. I'm kind of taking some notes as we go as well. So y'all did SoCal, summertime. Obviously, you get any good vacations in this year?
We did go to Hawaii in, I can't even remember, a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, I think it might have been. We went a family trip. Sometimes we try to take every other year a family trip. So this time it was family time. So we went to Hawaii with my sister, my grandma, my uncle, my sisters, or let's say my niece, her husband. It was like 8 of us, and then Karma, me, and I don't know who else. Who else? I'm probably missing more people. So big family vacation. We enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun, just being in the pool, relaxing. I think me and Karma, you work so hard Monday through Friday that sometimes you need that. You need that break. So yeah.
I went to Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii once. I was there for 22 hours, and I was on the airplane for 17 hours. And that was literally my Hawaii experience. So we got right off the airplane, went straight to a bunch of restaurants, one after the other, after the other, after the other, straight to bed, straight back to restaurants. I did a presentation for a bunch of people, and then got back on the plane.
Oh my gosh.
It was an experience. That's the best way I can put it. And I'm that guy. I can't sleep on an airplane. I just can't do
Hmm.
it. Like my body won't do it. And the flight back, you start right as the sun's going down from Hawaii, and we flew the whole night. Everybody's passed out. I'm still awake. I'm like wired. I just can't close my eyes on it. I can't sleep. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And I stayed up that whole. So I was up for pretty much 2 days straight for it. So it was beautiful. Like the hotel room view, we were like on the beach and stuff. I was like, wow, this is amazing. But it was such a short deal and such a long flight. I'm hoping you had more time than I did.
Yeah, our flight's like 5.5 hours. And this time for the first time, so you guys don't think anything, but we ended up going first class, and it was amazing. They give you these chairs, and you actually get to lay down the entire, lay
Uh huh.
down, fully lay down and just watch TV. It was the best experience of my life, where I told Karma, I was like, I can't travel any other way now. Like, I need to be laying down all the time when I travel now.
Yeah.
I told him
One of my
that, but
buddies.
he was too. He was amazed. He's like, "Oh my god, this was like the best experience ever." Yeah, but then you're paying like times five, which is, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Was it worth it? I mean, it was nice. You're just so, like, when you get out of the plane, you're super relaxed in comparison to, you know what I mean, just being stiff in a chair. But I mean, it's like once a year that I tell Karma that we take a a trip. So I was like, why not?
Hey, if you're going to vacation, right? So,
Vacation, right?
yeah,
Let me lay down.
we got our we have our annual beach trip coming up. I think in like 2 weeks. We usually drive to it. We have terrible travel luck, me and my wife. So um, we had a Cancun trip. We got halfway to the airport, got canceled. It was like a work event. It got canceled because of COVID, and then we went back home. And then uh, we had a Vegas trip recently. We had a layover in Dallas, and it was supposed to snow, and the snow had just started when we were getting on the airplane, and then we got all the way to like they were about to back taxiway out, and then they kept us there. And then we spent the whole day in the airport. They kept loading us on and off the airplane like they were going to go, and then we got stuck. Snowed in, ended up driving back home the next day because it was just a nightmare. And I'm probably forgetting a few. Oh, Christy's actually putting stuff in the chat. What was the other vacation that got completely stormed? I don't know, but we've had like 2 or 3 of these in a row,
Oh,
and we only pretty much are driving for a while, just because we can control it a little bit more.
ugh, that sounds like awful. I know we almost got stuck for a second when we went to Turks and Caicos, and they were going to cancel the flight. And so then I went running over there, and last minute I was like, no. And I had to get them to switch it and stuff like that. And thank God, like everyone was already boarded. I think like the doors were almost like they were about to get closed. We went running to that plane like no other. Because if not, they were gonna make us spend the night again out there. And I'm like, we don't have a hotel, we don't have anything. And it's this tiny airport in Turks and Caicos. It was like crazy. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I don't even know where I'm at.
That is crazy. Couple. I
Ow!
saw.
Karma, like, really? Like, what the hell?
Telling you. The
Really?
Christy
I'm
said
just
we
doing what
also
Chad
had
said.
a
What
Fort
chat said?
Lauderdale. Couple chat questions for you. Do you allow Karma to eat more than once a day? Would be the first chat question.
What kind of question is this? You guys think I'm like on a strict something over here? Oh, he eats whatever he wants to eat. I feed
So
that boy. He gets
he's
fed. Don't
he's
worry.
all right. He's self fed. Got it. And then I thought this was good as well. Another one that came out. Any memorable moments from being a moderator in a show, like either something funny, something crazy. I guess some of your whatnot experiences.
I don't know. I think I mod obviously, as you guys know, in a lot of you guys' streams, obviously. So it's I don't know. I think everyone's stream is a little bit kind of different, right? You have like some streams like in comparison, like you go to Bug stream. I know it's short and all we do is kind of just laugh in there half of the time. Um you go to kind of like Justin stream, it's selling, but we're still chit chatting there. And then you have pawn streams, which they tend to be a little bit longer in there. You're still chatting around. So it's like everyone's kind of a little bit different. I think, like I said, I'm there more just to support, have a good time, laugh at the end of the day, chat with whoever's kind of there and then just go. But I don't think there's like I can't remember a very specific memorable. I think
Were
me and Karma laugh a lot in a lot of the streams. So to me, we're always just kind of laughing back and forth.
were you there the day? I think you might have booted this guy for me, but I remember the dude that told me to shut up and run more stuff. I got to go to bed or something. Maybe that was Matt that booted him, but that might have been before you started modding in my stream. But that was my favorite. That was my absolute favorite.
Wow.
I was literally talking about the game I was holding. He's like, "Hey, can you stop talking and run more? I got to go to bed soon." And I was like, "Well, let me help you go to bed," and then had to give him the old foot, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
I know
other
there's a
than
lot of
that,
rude people.
well, it's an interesting point too because I was having this conversation with I think with another seller locally. Yeah, it was actually a local seller, great dude. Me and him exchange a bunch of games all the time, and it's just the difference of dealing with people in person versus people that hide behind computers.
Yes.
I mean, we all use computers, and you don't have to show your face on a whatnot to still be a real person. I try not to use the word chat because it drives me crazy. It's not There's not a chat. It's a bunch of people. These are people taking their time to like watch your show, and when it's just like, come on, chat, let's bid. Like I get it as a seller, but like you're forgetting that they're people. and not
Yeah.
everybody wants your stuff. I mean, look, I had a hard night last night. Obviously, it was
Oh.
a it was a rough auction. I'm not an auction person. I thought we had pretty decent stuff, and it was a rough show. I told Matt after, I was like, I'm so done. I'm done. I'm throwing the whole thing away. I'm done. Just put everything on the bay, which I'm not. But I will go back to more of just like, hey, what works? What works for me? And I like to hang out, play some games, or just chat and sell some things at decent prices. But uh, yeah, I got my teeth kicked in a little bit yesterday.
Yeah. Everyone's like I said, everybody kind of runs their stream differently, what they like, what they enjoy. And I mean, I think that's what makes each person right different, right? And it's a different stream and it feels different. And if everything was always kind of the same, I think people would get bored once you're going in.
Yep. So Just Thriftin writes in and asks, "Do you collect anything other than retro games?"
For a little bit of a period of time, I was collecting these Disney princess dolls. That they were like limited like amounts, like 3,000 that would come out in the US. So technically I would, you would have to kind of one of those people that waits in line for hours and hours and hours to try to get one of these things. So I was collecting a few of those, but those are just when it was like the beginning of those dolls were coming out. Now it just became to like everybody has them, or they're selling so many of them that they don't become special anymore. So I do have a few of those dolls, and then Karma started getting me a few dolls too because he knew I wanted them. He's so sweet. So I know he loves me. So he was getting all those dolls and trying to buy him off, I guess, people to see what he could do to get me what I wanted.
And so y'all did the gaming convention. We talked about that. You do whatnot, obviously. Where's your favorite place to source? Like, what's your go-to?
We have this guy, he's an older man, that lives like around us. He has like all these games in cellophane, and they had like every Reggie, everything in them. The only thing he was always missing was a manual, which is so weird. He just
That is
never had,
weird.
and that's why I'm always telling you guys, I say, you guys have manuals, you have manuals. I'm always looking for those manuals. But he had these just amazing games that I think he's been holding on to them forever because he doesn't display them in his store. He has them like hidden in boxes in his house somewhere. So, and only if he likes you that he'll start telling you about them. So he's a kind of a grumpy guy. He doesn't tend to like a lot of guys. He likes more females that he opens up more to. He's one of those type of guys. So he's in love with me, which is pretty funny. But he loves Karma too. Now, it's been a while since we've been. How long has it been, Karma? Like 2 years more?
More than that, yeah, probably.
Three,
We've known him for a
4.
while.
We've been knowing him for a while now. Yeah.
We just started it. We call it the honey hole because, like I said, he's got like our own little box, and
Yes. He has
like we go down
boxes.
there, he pulls out our box, we pick out a few of them, and then we chat for like an hour, and then we leave.
Yeah, we chat with him and then we just grab what we want and we leave. But like it's just that the maps, like those are exactly the items that they came in. Like every single paper in there, every single insert. So all the games that we have from him, they're 100% complete, which are beautiful. Except like I said, the Manny, we need to find source
I
out.
kind of wonder. I wonder if y'all have like a Sandlot situation going on there. Like, what if the old man just wants to talk to you for an hour, and he's like, I'll sell a couple games so we have this conversation.
He does like to because even when he has other customers come in, last time I was like, "Oh, do you want to go help?" And he's like, "No, they're fine. I'd rather talk to you guys. It's funner. I'm enjoying myself." He's told us that before. So like you could tell he just wants to talk to someone.
That's awesome. So how did obviously we've been talking to Karma on the side here. We'll have Karma on one day as well. But like, how did you guys meet? What's y'all's origin story?
Oh my god, you guys want to hear the love story? This is gonna be so much
Yeah.
fun. I know the love story. So it was actually, believe it or not, you guys, it was Valentine's Day from all days. So at the time when I was going to school, I was working at a retail store. So during that time, I was going to open, and then I had another coworker. She was going to do the closing shift, right? The closing shift usually like 2 to 10, right? The person that would open, I don't remember what time it was, 8 to 5 or whatever. So then I asked the girls, like, hey, do you want to switch with me because you have a boyfriend? And I didn't have a boyfriend at that time, right? She's like, oh my God, you would do that for me? I'm like, yeah, you have a boyfriend. I don't have anyone. Just go. Like, go have a dinner with your boyfriend. I'll close the store. She's like, oh my God, okay. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know why I decided to just get all dolled up that day. I did my hair, I did my makeup. I was wearing a super tight dress. So then I had a usual customer, a girl that came in, and she came in with her husband. So then the husband's there, she's trying on clothes, and I'm just standing there. The husband's like, what are you doing tonight? I was like, do you not see me? I'm here working. I'm not doing anything, obviously. Um, so he's like, really? You don't have a boyfriend? And I'm like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. He's like, let me hook you up, let me hook you up. And I'm Hispanic, just letting you guys know. Obviously, I'm Colombian, so you guys could be aware. So he was Hispanic. The couple was Hispanic, right? So in my head, I thought they were going to introduce me to someone Hispanic, and I was just like, oh no, like I don't want someone Hispanic because I that's who I dated before, right? And I was just kind of over that. I was like, so I said right away, I was like, no, no, no. He's like, come on, come on. And I was like, no, no. But I didn't want to tell him because, I thought he was going to be Hispanic. Right. So then I was like, okay, let me see a picture first. So then I see a picture, and it's like this guy with blonde hair, blue eyes. He was white. I was like, oh my goodness, this is everything I wanted. Right. So then I was like, okay, okay. I was like, tell him to text me. And then I was like, so I could send them my picture. I wanted to be a like, yes, like almost kind of how they do now with the swiping,
Yeah,
but it was
the
back in the
swipes. Yep.
days. So I'm like, let me
Mhm.
see a picture of you. And then all I said, hey, hey, here's my picture. Yes or no. Like, just say yes or no. Do you like me? So I send a picture. Karma, do you want to tell them what the picture looked like?
You should send me this slutty cat picture. Halloween costume slutty cat picture.
I was like in a bra. But
So of course I said yeah.
of course he said yeah, right? I was in a bra.
But well, it works. What was that site called? It was Hot or Not, wasn't it? Hot or Not.
Right?
Remember that?
So,
I think
so
that
I
was like
sent
that was like the first one. Yep.
well, yeah. So I sent him the picture. So of course according to him, he says yeah, right? He's like, who's this? So then I'm like, I knew it was Valentine's Day, so I'm like, oh, I don't trust people. I was like, I'm gonna tell him let's go out tonight, and if he says no, I was not gonna ever talk to him. Like we would not go on. So I was like, if he says no, it's over. But then he said yes to me. And I was like, okay, that means he doesn't have a girlfriend or a chick on the side. Cause I'm like, I don't play those games, not on Valentine's Day. Right. So then I was like, okay, let's meet up. So then we met up at TGI Fridays to go to the bar just to have drinks. And I'm standing inside, and then he sees me. He walks in, and I'm not joking, through the glass mirror. All I see him is start from my like toes down and looks up like that because I was wearing this tight dress, and I'm like, oh, I was like, did you really look at me like that? Like, oh my god, like I'm a piece of meat over here. And then from there, we had some drinks, and I actually went back to his house that day. But that was it. Nothing happened, and there it goes. And then now it's before you know it, it's 10 years later.
Dude, that's so awesome. I love that y'all went to
Yes,
TGI Fridays, and I saw Chrissy
yes.
just put in the chat as well. Our first date was at Chili's, which is not much different.
Oh,
We're an old MySpace couple from a million years ago, so we saw our profile on MySpace and just sent her a message and be like, "Hey, you want to go out?" And we went to Chili's, and I purposely sat at the bar because I had a terrible blind date. Like I guess a couple months before that, it was awkward. It was terrible. I couldn't get out fast enough, and it was like an hour long. So I was like, I'm gonna sit at the bar because if this goes sideways, I'm out. Like I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm literally just gonna leave. Right. Well, come to find out, and there's a picture of us on this date because one of the guys I worked with showed up. He didn't know I was there, and he took a picture of us on our first date, which is really cool because Chrissy has that somewhere. It's like, man, we were like babies. And guess who the blind date was with? Come to find out, not for like another year forward, it was her sister.
oh my gosh.
So I don't remember how that came about, but it was literally her sister. So we still see her sister on the daily, and I was like, "You're so awkward." So we joke all the time, and like, "You just stared at me for an hour. You scared me to death." I was like, "I had to get out of there." So that was my first and only date at the bar versus like going sit down at the table. And come to find out, it's literally my sister-in-law now.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a crazy story too.
like Millie said, take your date to a fancy restaurant like Subway. They'll make the food right in front of you, which is pretty good. If you guys have any topics or anything like that, make sure to throw them in the chat as well. I love y'all's first story though. That's pretty good, especially the starting at your feet and going up. Do you think that was because of the picture you sent him, or do you
I,
think
I
that's just his what do they call that? Not his what is it called? His swagger. Was that just his swagger?
I don't know if that Carmen, was that your swagger or what was that? I don't know.
I didn't think she saw me through the glass.
Oh, you see, the truth comes out. I saw him. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy.
And then look. So I mean, obviously the date went well. I assume. We fast forward.
Yes, it went very well. Like I said, like 10 years later, look, we're here.
Do you remember what you guys ordered that night?
I think we were just drinking. I was probably drinking margaritas because that's all I drink.
That's, dude, I'm right there with you. I love it. I love
I love
That's,
margaritas.
that's what we were having at Chili's as well, right, Christy? It was Margs, right? Because
I
remember
love the
Chili's had the two
margaritas
for
from
one.
Chili's.
Yeah, the 2 for 1, man. Margs and nachos. Look at that.
Oh, there you go. She remembers. Margs and nachos. There
Yeah,
it goes. That's
I
how
had
you
the
do
exit
it.
strategy. The exit
Yeah.
strategy was down for sure. I was like appetizer, Marg, whatever. So no, it was actually really cool. We got to find that picture. Maybe I'll put it in the comments or something down on YouTube after. Did you guys happen to take a selfie or something that night?
No, I don't think no pictures that night. Like I said, we met up like around what time? Like I think it might have been like 10 or 11 o'clock at
Yeah, it
night.
was late. We
It
got
was
to the bar
late.
now.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were just at the bar. Like I said, it was like either 10, 11 o'clock, had a few drinks, and kind of that was it.
so I see it a lot in comments on shows all the time. When is there going to be a Karma and Sweetoreo stream to sell some of these games?
I know there was one. So what does everyone say? 3 years ago, right? It happened. It,
Oh,
it
that,
really
that
did. There was a stream once.
did y'all enjoy the selling part or just collecting? I know every time I ask you what should I do with this, should I sell it or keep it? You're like, keep it, just keep it.
Keep it. Keep it. I always tell
But
people to keep everything.
yeah, I got to sell it just to get the next item though, to collect though at the moment. So I did like you guys were talking about and whatnot, like got on there and just went crazy for like 6 months, and
Yeah.
then you get to a point where you're like, where am I going to put all this
Mhm.
stuff?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I really want all this stuff, and kind of whittling down a little bit now. So, and then I started collecting for Christy and for my kids because
Oh.
Christy mentioned one time in passing that she liked Kirby. So I was like, oh, Kirby collection. And then we started some Kirby. We've grown that kind of slowly, but we got some nice pieces for Kirby. And then my little one loves Mario, especially Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. And we've got a very large Mario collection, and it's the one that I'm keep looking at that I'm kind of like, is it time to put it in the tote and just save it for him for 20 years from now? Because I like Mario stuff, I really do. It looks cool and all that, but I'm not really passionate about it. And he's more interested in like the little Mario, the little Mario pins you get, like they have like you can, like stick them on things. I don't know how you describe them. They come in a little pack, and they're like lapel pins. You can like put them on your shirt. It's got the little
Yeah.
tag
Are
on and stuff.
the red packs?
Yeah, those.
Yeah,
Those.
I have a few of those. I was trying to get the gold. I was trying to get the gold.
Same. So I'm looking at the wall here. So he's opened probably both my little ones that come in the cabin are like, "Can I have a pin?" Or they don't. I don't know what they call them. They say, "Can I have a Mario?" Or something like that. And I give them one pack each time they visit the cabin, and it's a little pricey because there's a lot of packs because they visit the cabin pretty often. And we haven't gotten the gold Mario, but we have gotten the regular Mario like 2 or 3 times, and I think the regular Mario is actually fairly uncommon as well, from what I saw on the box.
No, I
So,
don't think so. I read it a few times because I
huh?
think that's what Jess told us, Retro Rebel. Because we were first looking at it, and then I read it again, and then I think they said it was in French or something. I forgot like what it says, but I think the gold one's the only rare one. I read it like a few
Okay,
times.
gotcha. I have to go check and recheck on the box. I thought it said it was like 1 out of 30 or 40 was like the regular one. It was like 1 out of 50 or something for the gold. But I don't know where these pins are going. So we've opened like 30 of them, and I only see 7 of them. So where are the other 23 pins? Is a great question. I'm gonna find them. I swear, the 2-year-old, like, he loves the gumball
Oh,
machine. He's always putting stuff. When Matt visited like a couple months ago, my VCR stopped working in my TV. I got like a TV VCR combo, and I was like, it's broke. I was like, I don't know what happened. It's broke. And then Matt got to digging, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I pulled this out of your VCR," and it was like something the 2-year-old like shoved in the VCR like a toy, or a pen or whatever. So now I have 2 VCRs. We have the big unit, and we have the TV VCR. So thanks, Matt, for fixing my VCR. But he loves to make stuff disappear, um,
oh.
which I'm pretty sure I'm kind of leaning on. That's where the Shakedown Hawaii went. That can't seem to find anywhere. He also likes. He's obsessed with the trash can. So
The
I
trash
think
can, that's funny.
so. Yep, Matt never got paid for it. I I'll just bill it with that Hulk last night. I think we'll be good on that. So what are you guys looking forward to the rest of the year? Obviously, got the holiday tomorrow. Get some relaxation in. What's on the docket for the rest of the year?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think we need to make our way to Havasu. I mean, we have the boat out there. I mean, I think we just get so lazy when you finally have like a weekend off. I like me and Karma literally just want to stay home and do nothing. So it's like so hard to try to like, okay, let's drive, 3 hours and a half to start heading to Havasu and then, another 3 hours and a half back. So we're like, let's just stay home and do nothing. It feels so good just laying in bed sometimes.
It does. Oh boy, I had such a long day today. Obviously, we went late last night. I went to Mississippi today, work at our hunting camp, and bunch of tractor stuff. Tore down some stuff, moved some stuff. It's just hot, South Louisiana, South Mississippi. It's just so hot. I don't know how to describe it. It's different than like Vegas heat. It's like a
Mm,
different kind of heat. So you got that old 100% humidity thing going on.
mm.
And, yeah, it was interesting. I was like, I drank 7 bottles of water while I was there, and I was still dehydrated. And I was like, how is this even possible? Um, so yeah, but that was kind of a beatdown. But you know what though? That was way better than trying to come into the cabin and getting locked out of your own cabin at 9:30 at night. For sure.
I know. I was like, oh my God. I was like, is he gonna be able to get in? I was scared for him. I was like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? I was
I
like,
know,
break a
and
window, I guess, and get in somehow.
so I love the Matrix movies, and it reminds me of a part in the Matrix movies where he drops the plate with the Oracle, and she's like, "What's really gonna tickle you is would you have knocked the plate over if I told you that you would have later?" And I was thinking about it. I was like, would my auction not have sucked if it was on that night versus last night? And kind of playing it back. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, I had an auction on today's Thursday, so it was on Wednesday, no Tuesday, and it was at 9:30 and or 9:45 actually, and I was running tight on time. I always try to get my littles in bed and finish the house stuff before I come back to the cabin, whatever. And I got to the cabin at 9:44, and I was about to go in there. I was like running in. I literally put in the code, tried to open the door, and hit the door because I thought the door was going to open. It didn't open. So I hit the door and I'm like, what is going on? It still gave me like a green light. It was like, hey, you're unlocked, whatever. And it was locked. It was so locked, and it would not come undone. And I'm a genius. So 2 weeks ago, I told Chrissy, I was like, I'm going to go through all these keys that we have in this drawer. There was like 150 keys in this drawer. I'm like, I don't know what any of these go to. I haven't used them in years. So I'm going to throw them away. And I threw them away. And guess what key was in that pile of keys? The cabin key.
Oh,
The thrift in the cabin is about 600 feet behind my house. Yeah, roughly about 600 feet. So I went back to the house and started grabbing all these keys. We still had some key rings, and there were still some keys that I didn't know what they were for. I tried every single key, no luck. I took the screens off the windows. I tried to bust the windows up, kind of like, not break them, but like, can I get them up? and no luck. And then I finally gave up like 30 minutes later. And I had just taken a shower before this, by the way, too. And in South Louisiana, it's still 100% humidity, even in the dark.
Mm.
It's 90 degrees with 100%. And I was just like drenched from trying to break into my own cabin, and had to take another shower. I'd actually taken like 3 or 4 showers that day. We take tons of showers because of all the humidity. And I had to call Papa Lock in the morning, and I was like, "Can y'all get me into the cabin?" That dude came in here. He put that little thing in there, did his thing. 3 seconds, he was in. I'm like, "Wow." Somebody told me to pick it. I'm like, "Pick it with what?" I was like, "I didn't have the right tools." So typical fashion for me, because I'm kind of that guy. Like everything will go wrong. Will so y'all ever heard the you ever heard the thing called FML? Have you heard of this before? That it was like an app. People would like FML,
No.
F my life. Things
My
go
life.
wrong. Well, I claim that I invented that way before FML became a thing. I had a website back in 2003 called yougothosed.com, and I had stories of how I got hosed. It was like this one, this one. It was like 20 stories on this thing. This literally, Christy literally posted yougothosed.com, and dude, it's been my whole life like this. And yeah, so Papa Lock came out, and then I was like, "Oh, I have a bright idea." So I called the locksmith, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get keys made for this because I don't have the key. I can't have this happen again. I can't have it. I'm gonna lose my mind." They're like, "Oh, just bring us the cylinder. It's like $15." I was like, "Okay, great, 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 great." So I'm in, and I take the door knob apart, and to take the cylinder out, there's like a back plate, and I unscrew the back plate, and I'm not joking. I open it up, and boom, a spring flies in the air and disappears. Gone. No idea where, and then a pin falls out of it. And I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? What is the deal? So long story short, I never found the stuff. So I ended up having to throw away the doorknob and go buy a whole new doorknob, keyless entry doorknob. So the whole thing, I think, together cost about $325 for that whole experience. So that's why I was probably like so frustrated on the auction last night, because it was just a bad game cabin day. The game cabin books were not happy yesterday between all that. So, but yep, the old yougothose.com. Forgot about that. It brings back some memories. Um, you had mentioned to me one time about Little Mermaid, and you love Little Mermaid. So why?
Not
Like,
that
what's
I love Little Mermaid. Every time I get a Little Mermaid, it's not in the condition I want, so it gets me really upset. So then I'm like,
okay?
because I like my Disney to look really nice, so I'm like, buy it again and again until I get the one I want. I did that for a while too with Roger Rabbit getting the cart. I had to buy like
Oh yeah.
maybe 5 cards to try to get the one I want.
Okay. How many
Yeah.
copies of Mermaid do you have on you currently?
I think I was getting rid of some, but I think we might have had, how many did we have? Like 4 or 5?
Mhm.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
Wow.
One's on too. Look,
No. Yeah.
Have you found your forever Little Mermaid?
Yeah, I think I found my forever. Karma got me another one to make me happy. Right? He gets me everything so I could be happy.
Is the newest one a sealed one?
I have a sealed one, but that's not the one. It's another one that he got me. Where is it at? Over. I think I have it over here, and it's really pretty. Let me grab it so you guys can see it. Let's
Sure.
see where it's at. Is Where's my Little Mermaid? Did I have it on here? I have too many games.
you probably have it up there.
No, I don't think I have it up here. That's not the one either. Where is it at?
At least I know I'm not the only one that can't find their games when somebody buys them or
No,
whatever.
no, it's
And I'm
this.
like, where
Is it
is
this
it?
one? I think it's this one. I have another one there. That's not the one. This one. It's probably this one. This is my Little Mermaid.
Wow.
I know
Look
you
at
can't
that.
see it. It's really, the corners are really pretty and everything.
That
I was
looks
like, so
awesome.
yeah, I'm happy with this one. So this
It's
is my
fake.
Little Mermaid.
Mr. Day said it's fake.
It's fake. Yeah, it's fake.
With the repro.
Right? Exactly.
I am super drawn to that purple Capcom. I
Yeah.
love the way those look. That's It's just something about that red on that purple. And then obviously I'm a huge Mega Man fan. Although I haven't played all of them, or I don't claim to, but There's something about that purple, man. I want somebody was a marketing genius that came up with that. They're like, this is gonna hook every kid. Watch. And some dude was probably like, "Nah, you're full of it. That's not gonna work. Whatever." And then still to this day, 35 years later, 30 years later, whatever it is, I still gotta have all those purple Capcoms. Like anytime I see it, I was like, I gotta have it. We'll buy it.
I know we've been looking for, I told you last time, remember Mega Man 1, and we're still looking for some of those. Very, kind of specific, the condition and everything. So we're still waiting. When we went to SoCal, we were looking for that, but we couldn't find it either. Sometimes it's hard when you're looking for something very, very specific.
Yeah, maybe I need to get the one out of my collection, let you look at that one, and then take that one I have with the cellophane and throw that in the collection. The one I have in the case is actually really nice.
Nice.
I don't think it has hardly anywhere on the outside,
Yeah.
but you can tell it's got some age to it. All of those had some age to it.
That's for Neto.
So
Neto, you see that?
That's for Neto, he said. Neto, you see that?
can you see it? Yeah.
I think he saw it.
Well, cool. Well, look, we've been chatting for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining the horse talk tonight, but also for all the moderation. I speak on behalf of everybody that you do mod work for. Thank you so much for hanging out. Karma for supporting Oreo and hanging out with us all the time. I think that's awesome too.
Oh,
It's cool to see a gaming couple or a collecting couple and just a cool couple in general. So and I really appreciated y'all calling me that day from SoCal. I think that was very personable to me. I haven't had a ton of experiences with people and whatnot, so it was cool to see some faces, and I was like, these are cool guys, man. I just talk to these guys all the time. So, um, well, anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your summer and a great 4th of July. And we really appreciate you being on, and look forward to seeing you in some future shows.
no, thank you for the invite. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure always, like I said, I mean, modding for everyone, supporting everyone. I mean, that's technically what I enjoy doing at the end of the day. I think it's just fun hanging out with you guys. And like I said, just being there. I mean, I think we need our community, right? The gaming community, be there for each other, support each other. I think that's what we have in common at the end of the day, right? Enjoy gaming. That's what we like. That's something that I guess, right? It brings back memories. And I think that's something very important. And I think we should all respect each other, have fun. And I think most of us, obviously, in here do. And I mean, most of the people that are in the stream, they're the same people that go from stream to stream. I think we have our little crew, which is kind of funny. But I love it. So, but thank you guys for everything. It was awesome. Hopefully, I get to see more of you guys in Horse's stream coming up. We met Matt, and then we have who's coming up next, Horse?
So we
Oh,
have Dimitri.
Dimitri. Yeah,
Dimitri is
Dimitri.
signed up, but we have some other folks in the works as well. I don't want to name drop those just yet until we have the dates solidified, but we'll probably try to do a show. I think about every other week. I think is the
Mhm.
goal. We do have a couple like jammed in right now just to kind of get the show going. I think it's important to have one maybe each week. So we do have an open spot. I think next week. And then we're going on our beach trip as well. So I want to try to get maybe one more in before that. And I think Dimitri's right when we come back. So look, the show will be about gaming, collecting, and all that. But we may have some guests on as well that have nothing to do with games at all.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun to talk to people, and I like doing them on Whatnot Live. I think that's unique to it as well. And guess what? I don't have to edit all the middle part. I just literally just clip the front, I clip the end, and put a little intro on there, and post it and see what the world thinks about it. And for me, it's literally just getting out of my comfort zone and trying to stretch a little bit as a person and just do something different. So
Yeah. No, but thank you once again, and more to come, you guys, with Horse Allen. So stay tuned.